Welcome to Silent Secrets, where we dive deep into the psychology of confidence, attraction, and masculine energy. Today, I want to share a truth that every man needs to hear at least once in his life, a truth that completely changes how you see women, relationships, and even yourself. Gentlemen, let's be real for a second. Somewhere along the way, men were taught that to win a woman's heart, they have to prove themselves. Show her your car, flash your achievements, talk about your success, pretend you're perfect. But here's the thing. The more you try to impress her, the less she's impressed. Why? Because when you try too hard to win her approval, what you're really saying is, her opinion defines my worth. And the moment you do that, you place her on a pedestal and you kneel beneath it. See? Attraction isn't built through performance, it's built through presence. And when a man performs to be accepted, he loses the quiet power that makes him truly magnetic. So in this video, we're going to uncover why trying to impress her almost always backfires, and what to do instead. You'll learn how to shift the balance of power back into your hands, where it always belonged. So gentlemen, take a breath, sit back, and let's begin. The trap of seeking approval, it starts small. So small you barely notice it. You meet a woman you're drawn to. She's beautiful, confident, mysterious, and suddenly, without realizing it, you start adjusting your behavior. You text her the moment she replies. You agree with things you don't really believe. You laugh a little too hard at her jokes. You start thinking more about what she thinks of you than what you actually think of yourself. That's the invisible trap of seeking approval. It feels harmless at first, but over time, it eats away at your sense of power. Because the second your actions start revolving around her reaction, you're no longer yourself. You're performing. And when you perform for validation, you trade authenticity for acceptance. The result? She stops feeling your strength, because she can sense, even if she can't explain it, that your energy is coming from need, not certainty. You might appear confident. You might say all the right words, but deep down, she feels that something's off. You're trying to earn her attention instead of commanding it naturally. And nothing kills attraction faster than a man who seeks permission to be himself. See? When you're constantly trying to impress, you unconsciously communicate one dangerous message. She's above me. I need to earn her interest. But real masculine energy never operates from that place. It doesn't beg to be chosen. It chooses. It doesn't seek validation. It already has validation from within. The irony is that the more you chase her approval, the less she respects you. And the moment you stop chasing it, she starts noticing you. Because approval isn't something you can win. It's something that naturally flows toward the man who doesn't need it. So pause and ask yourself, when I talk to her, am I trying to connect, or am I trying to be approved? Because one is based on confidence, and the other on fear. Why impressing her never works. Trying to impress a woman might seem logical. Society tells you to stand out, to do more, to show more, to prove you're different. Movies, social media, even your friends repeat the same idea. Do something special to win her attention. But here's the truth. The harder you try to impress, the less impressive you become. Because effort and attraction doesn't always equal progress. When you're focused on proving your worth, you're actually communicating that you don't believe you already have it. Attraction doesn't grow from effort. It grows from energy. A man who's relaxed, centered, and at peace with who he is radiates confidence without saying a word. A man who's trying to perform for approval radiates anxiety, even if he hides it behind charm. And women, being emotionally intuitive, feel that difference instantly. She might smile at your jokes, nod at your stories, or thank you for your compliments. But she's not feeling that spark of respect that comes from true strength. Because when you're performing, your energy says, please like me. When you're authentic, your energy says, I'm good either way. And that's what creates polarity, the tension that fuels attraction. See, women don't fall for men who chase validation. They fall for men who inspire admiration. The man who doesn't need to prove his worth because his life already reflects it becomes the one she can't stop thinking about. And it's not because he's richer, taller, or more charming. It's because his confidence feels real. He's not performing. He's present. So if you've been trying to show her why you're special, stop for a moment. Ask yourself, if I stopped trying to impress her, would my presence still speak for itself? If not, that's not a weakness. That's your next opportunity to grow, because when you focus on becoming impressive to yourself, you automatically become impressive to others. Understanding real male value. Every man wants to feel valued, to be seen, respected, and desired. But most men misunderstand what real value is. They think it's about money, looks, or status. And while those things can catch attention, they don't create lasting respect. Real male value doesn't come from what you show. It comes from what you stand for. True value is internal. It's built on purpose, discipline, and self-respect. Let's start with purpose. A man without purpose drifts like a leaf in the wind, easily moved by other people's opinions, constantly seeking something to fill the emptiness. But a man with purpose moves like a river, steady, clear, unstoppable. He doesn't chase attention because he's already filled with direction. His life has meaning beyond approval, and that gives his presence weight. When you meet a man with purpose, you feel it. He doesn't talk too much, but every word carries conviction. He's not busy proving who he is. He's living it. Next is discipline. Discipline isn't just about working out or making money. It's about mastering yourself, your reactions, your emotions, your focus. A disciplined man doesn't get thrown off by every test or challenge. He moves with composure, and that composure makes him feel safe to be around. Not safe as in boring, but safe as in stable. Because real strength isn't loud. It's steady, and then there's self-respect. Self-respect is knowing your worth so deeply that you refuse to negotiate it. It's walking away from anyone who treats you like an option. It's not arrogance. It's awareness. When you respect yourself, you automatically teach others how to treat you. Women test men all the time, not to hurt them, but to see if they stand firm. When she senses that your self-worth isn't tied to her reaction, she relaxes, because she's finally met a man she can't control, and that's rare. Purpose, discipline, self-respect. That's the foundation of real male value. It's not something you talk about. It's something you embody. You show it in how you handle rejection, how you stay grounded under pressure, and how you live when no one's watching. And once you build that kind of value, you stop chasing validation, because you've already validated yourself. The power of detachment now. This might be one of the most powerful lessons a man can learn. Detachment. But don't misunderstand the word. Detachment doesn't mean being cold, emotionless, or distant. It means being calm, centered, and unshakable, no matter what happens around you. Most men lose their balance because they attach too quickly. They meet a woman, feel a connection, and suddenly, their entire mood depends on how she responds. She texts back. They're happy. She takes a little longer. They spiral. That's emotional dependency, and it kills attraction. Detachment breaks that cycle. It's the ability to care, but not cling, to feel love, but not lose yourself in it. When you're detached, your self-worth isn't determined by her attention. You can enjoy the connection, but your peace doesn't depend on it, and that energy is powerful, because women can feel when a man's emotions are balanced. It makes them feel secure, not because you're detached from her, but because you're connected to yourself. Psychologically, detachment signals abundance. It says, I enjoy your presence, but I'm not afraid of your absence. That kind of confidence is magnetic. To build detachment, start with awareness. The next time you feel anxious or overthinking after texting her, pause and ask, what am I expecting from her that I should be giving myself? Most of the time, it's validation. And when you start giving that to yourself, through purpose, progress, and peace, her approval no longer controls your emotions. A detached man doesn't chase. He chooses. He doesn't beg for love. He allows it, and that calm energy makes him unforgettable. Becoming the prize. Here's a truth that might sting. The moment you treat her like the prize, she stops seeing you as one, because in that moment, you flip the dynamic. She's the reward, and you're the contestant. But real attraction flips that script. You are the prize, not in an arrogant way, not in a better-than-you way, but in a calm, self-assured, grounded way. The kind of energy that says, I know my worth, and I'm not afraid to walk away if it's not respected. That's the energy that commands respect and attraction without saying a word. Becoming the prize starts with a mindset shift. You're not here to be chosen. You're here to choose who deserves access to you. When you truly believe that, your behavior changes. You stop over-explaining, overthinking, and over-investing. You start leading with calm confidence, not emotional dependency. Your time, energy, and focus become valuable currencies, and not everyone gets access. And that's what creates attraction, because what's rare is respected. Think about it. When something is easily available, it loses its value. But when it's selective, it becomes desirable. The same applies to your attention. Don't give it freely to everyone who looks good. Give it to those who earn it, because the prize never chases, it attracts. But here's the twist. The prize doesn't just sit there waiting to be admired. It's constantly becoming more valuable. So the question isn't, how do I make her choose me? The real question is, how do I keep becoming a man she'd never want to lose? Focus on growth. Focus on your health, your peace, your discipline, and your purpose. Because when you're fulfilled in your own life, you naturally become magnetic. Women can feel that energy. A man who's content, composed, and purposeful represents stability in a world full of chaos. That's the man she remembers. How confidence speaks. Louder. Confidence isn't about being loud. It's about being sure. It's the quiet, grounded energy that says, I know who I am, and I'm good with it. That's real confidence. You can't fake it. You can't pretend to have it for long. Because real confidence doesn't come from what you say. It comes from what you consistently do. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build self-trust. Every time you push through discomfort, you build strength. And that's what makes your confidence unshakable. Women can sense that kind of self-trust instantly. It makes them feel something that charm can't replicate. Safety. Not physical safety, but emotional safety. Because confidence is stability. And stability is rare. The opposite, fake confidence, is loud, inconsistent, and easily triggered. It's the man who brags, who argues, who tries to dominate conversations to prove worth. But deep down, that comes from insecurity, not strength. Real confidence doesn't need to prove. It simply is. So instead of trying to project confidence, build it. Build it by keeping your word to yourself, by facing challenges without fear, by living your values even when no one's watching. That's how confidence speaks. Quietly, but powerfully. Leading with purpose, not performance. At some point, every man faces a crossroads. Will you live to impress, or will you live to lead? Performance is exhausting. It makes you act instead of be. It keeps you reactive, waiting for others to validate your value. Purpose is freeing. It grounds you. It gives direction to your life that no approval can replace. When you lead with purpose, your energy changes. You're no longer saying, I hope she likes me. You're saying, I know what I stand for. Women feel that. They see it in how you move, how you decide, and how you respond. A purposeful man doesn't get lost in drama or emotional games. He's too focused on becoming the best version of himself. And ironically, that's what makes him irresistible. Because a man with purpose doesn't need to chase connection. He attracts it naturally as a byproduct of his mission. Leading with purpose means you're not guided by her reaction. You're guided by your vision. You set the tone, you decide the direction. You're not controlling. You're composed. You're not chasing. You're leading, and that difference changes everything. The power returns to you, gentlemen. Listen carefully. The moment you stop trying to impress her and start focusing on becoming your best self, everything changes. You stop chasing. You start attracting. You stop performing. You start leading. Because true power doesn't come from seeking attention. It comes from mastering yourself. Women aren't drawn to men who beg for validation. They're drawn to men who lead themselves, who live with clarity, purpose, and peace. So from this day forward, remember, you are not the man trying to win approval. You are the man defining his own worth, you are the prize. And when you live like it, you'll never need to impress anyone again.